Hi, I'm Abbi Summers.
I'm Alexis Nunes.
I'm Fabrizio Romano.
Hi, I'm Darren Lewis.
This is Sam Type.
I'm Fanny Stipkovic, and you're watching.
You are watching.
You are watching Chasing Green Arrows.
Chasing Green Arrows.
Chasing Green Arrows.
You're watching Chasing Green Arrows.
I think it'll be Harry Kane. I think especially if he does end up going to Manchester City, we're just going to see stupid numbers of goals when you have people like Grealish behind you, Foden, De Bruyne. So if he goes there, I still would say it would be Harry Kane. I still back him, even if he stays at Spurs, to be top scorer. I mean, he managed to do it last season, and that was a terrible season for Spurs. But I always think Mo Salah is always going to be breathing down his neck. The amount of service he gets, the amount of goals and assists that he also gets too, that is one that could really run him close in terms of top goal scorer. I think that having Van Dijk back will be very good for Liverpool. I think obviously they were massively injury hit last season. So I'll go with Alisson. Most assists. I'm not going to back Harry Kane to do that again. So I'm going to go with De Bruyne. But Jadon Sancho's obviously arrived. I expect him to be fairly involved this season. Grealish, God, there's so many to pick from. Most assists. I'm going to go with De Bruyne. Most red cards will be someone like Granit Xhaka, because obviously he's not leaving Arsenal anymore, and he can always be tempted to do something stupid. So we'll go with Granit Xhaka. Okay, so 3 things I would look at. Definitely the fixtures. For your first draft, I would probably say kind of pick who you want, because obviously you've got like blank slate and you can kind of pick with your money and move things around. So go with who you want on your first pick. But as FPL goes on over the season, have a look at your fixtures and really just, make the right substitutions and, ins and outs when needed. Another thing I look at is stats. I like to see assists and things from the previous season. I know that it's a fresh slate going into a new season, but you can kind of get a gauge. No one's going to drop off that much. So someone like Salah or Kane, if they're, the most expensive, they're the most expensive for a reason. Another thing I look at is also clean sheets. I like to have a look at that with the goalkeepers. Obviously, I haven't picked like an Edison or an Alisson. And that's purely because I just choose to distribute my money elsewhere rather than on the keeper, because the keeper is usually going to concede regardless. So I'd rather have that in my defence and pick up the points there. But I do, when selecting a goalkeeper, it is always a good idea, if you're not watching the Premier League every single week, to have a look at the stats and have a look and see who keeps the most clean sheets. Well, I don't expect Harry Kane to be starting the first game anyway. I think that was even before all the transfer stuff. So game week 1, I guess if you've got someone like Salah in your FPL, then that's probably a bit of a banker for you, because he's always popping up with the assist and a goal. Even like a De Bruyne, assuming he's fit, a Fernandes, someone in that region who you know is going to be involved in the game. They're never going to have a quiet start to the season. That would be my pick for a captain. Whether or not Jack Grealish comes straight into that Manchester City side, I'm not sure about. So I would probably stick with someone that's a bit more cemented. If you were going to go for someone, who's got that as a Salah, as a Bruno Fernandes type player.